So this has not been a good week for CD Projekt Red. I'm sure at this point we're all familiar with the controversy with Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It runs like shit, and it's a garbage port that, I mean, I guess it's expected because it is these systems are really old and Cyberpunk is a very ambitious title, but a lot of people were misled. The average casual person that buys video games isn't familiar with all the technical shit, like about how the PlayStation 4 is very weak, the Xbox One is weak, and it's really not on par with an average gaming PC, and never mind the next gen consoles. So yeah, obviously, like the average person that watches this video tends to be more informed on video games and technology and stuff like that, but the average person in general is not. So yeah, a lot of people were misled by Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 and Xbox One, which I presume were a good chunk, if not the majority of sales for that game. And keep in mind, just a few weeks ago, the CEO of CD Projekt Red had a conference call with investors saying, oh yeah, Cyberpunk runs great on PS4 and Xbox One. And all the interviews, every time that topic was brought up, how does Cyberpunk perform on last-gen consoles, CD Projekt Red always said, oh, it runs great, it runs amazing. It's bullshit. It runs like garbage. It runs like dog shit. And it's not even to say, like, okay, yeah, the consoles are weak. I mean, yeah, they're definitely weak, and I guess Cyberpunk, it is a very ambitious title, and maybe it just could not run on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One properly. Well, then, you should have fucking canceled it on those consoles. I mean, come on. And just 2 years ago, I remember Red Dead Redemption 2, it was fucking beautiful on last-gen consoles, so I don't know. I feel like there's still a little bit left that you can do with those consoles. I think what they did on the PS4 and Xbox One version is fucking awful, and the way that they're treating their customers with refunds is also not good, because they're saying the burden of trying to get a refund if you're not happy, the burden is on you. It's not on CD Projekt Red. So you have to go to Sony, you have to go to Microsoft, which are two companies that don't really give out refunds that much. So good luck with that, and considering the volume of requests that they're going to be getting, I mean, you're going to have to spend hours in customer service. You're going to have to really push it to try to get a refund for a game that it's going to be, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how they're just saying, oh no, if you want a refund, you just have to deal with it. And I think they actually do have, you can go directly through them to get a refund. But coincidentally, the deadline to contact CD Projekt Red directly is December 21st, which is 4 days away from Christmas, which I predict is going to be where most of the people who get Cyberpunk, it's going to be on that day. It's not people who just got the game over the past week. It's going to be kids getting the game for Christmas, or adults getting the game for Christmas. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, Christmas is a day where people get brand new video games. It's just, that's how it is. So you can't contact CD Projekt Red after December 21st, and December 25th is where most people are getting the game. Okay, the point I'm trying to say is that CD Projekt Red, they've had this reputation of being so consumer friendly and being like out, they're looking out for the average person, they're looking out for the gamer. They don't do business shady, like they're not greedy, they don't do shit like that. Well, explain to me then why they're bowing down to the Chinese Communist Party, because that's another thing that they've been doing recently. This just broke over the last few hours, actually. So there's a horror game called Devotion, and the name might sound familiar because last year, around January, February of last year, I believe, the game was pulled from Steam because there was an Easter egg in the game that referenced the president of China, President Xi Jinping, as Winnie the Pooh. So, I mean, it sounds stupid, but it's a whole meme that goes around in China that the president of China looks like Winnie the Pooh. And of course, China is not a free country. The government is run by the Chinese Communist Party. There's a lot of censorship, and there are a lot of human rights violations. They have literal concentration camps in China. So, I actually talked about this the other day, about fake wokeness in video game industry, about how all these companies like Activision, Epic Games, they talk about social justice and whatnot, but they do business with a country that literally kills people. like just kills innocent people and throws them in prison camps. So that's something that I was talking about just the other day. When it comes to the actual censorship of games, which I also touched upon a little bit, it gets even worse because it's annoying when these companies try to pretend that they care about people. In the case of CD Projekt Red saying we're not greedy, but we're going to false advertise for a version of the game that we know is going to sell the most. They misled people on purpose. You can't say that, oh, they tried to make the game good, or, it's just, they didn't have enough time, they should have delayed it more. No, the game just didn't fucking belong on those consoles, and that's what happens. I actually, about a year ago, I said that Cyberpunk should be canceled on the PS4 and Xbox One. People didn't like that, but it's true. I mean, and I turned out to be correct about that. The fact that they have lied and misled their consumers just shows that CD Projekt Red, they're not as as golden as people make them out to be. They're a corporation, they're out there to make money, and there's really no way to justify the whole case of Devotion, where they actually censored the game from GOG, because a year ago, about early 2019, it was censored from Steam. So the game was supposed to be relaunched on GOG because that was the only platform. Epic Games, which has ownership by the Chinese government, of course they're not going to allow a game like that to be published, obviously. Like, I don't even need to say anything about that. But GOG is supposed to be like this free and open platform. They're DRM free. They're like the most consumer friendly platform in the PC gaming market, and they're kowtowing to the Chinese Communist Party because they don't want to hurt the feelings of the president of China. The president of China that throws millions of people into concentration camps. The president of China that abuses human rights on a daily basis. Oh, we can't hurt his feelings. I mean, this is blatant censorship. This is blatantly CD Projekt Red trying to kowtow to an authoritarian government that kills innocent people all the time. But they're doing it for business interests because they want to do business in China, obviously. Like, that's obviously what they're trying to do. And it's ridiculous because we live in a free country. We live in the United States of America, and if you're watching, if you live in Canada, the United Kingdom, or any other country, I'm sure, you live in a free country as well. So we don't live in authoritarian regimes that kill innocent people, where you have to worry about every little thing you have to say. I mean, we have PC culture in the West where you kind of do have to watch out for what you have to say, but it's not on the same level as what the people in China go through, where they can get thrown in jail for being different, for not conforming to the Chinese Communist Party. So, yeah, obviously China is a terrible place to live. It's a horrible country. And the government of China is evil. And I think anyone that tries to deny this fact and tries to kowtow to the Chinese government is also evil. So I think CD Projekt Red is evil. And I think if they're in the habit of censoring games in order to please authoritarian regimes, then they should rename their game Cyberpunk 2077 to Cyberpunk 1984, because that's the world that we're going to live in if we let these corporations decide what we can and can't consume. I mean, it's ridiculous. I could see if the game was banned in China, but it's banned for everybody. It's not available in the store for anybody, no matter where you live, even if you don't live in a horrible country like China. It's pathetic. It really is. And the list of companies that are on our good graces that actually do the right thing, it's shrinking smaller and smaller as time goes on. Remember when Bethesda was the most consumer-friendly company in the gaming industry? Wow, that's changed. And how about Rockstar Games? They're another one. And I guess you can add CD Projekt Red to the list. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're also lying about the multiplayer mode, which is coming out, I guess, in a year, from what I heard. And they're saying, oh, we're going to have microtransactions, but it's going to be a good microtransactions. It's going to make people happy. It's going to be great. If they were lying about Cyberpunk on PS4 and Xbox One, I wouldn't be surprised they're also going to lie about their multiplayer mode. I mean, you can't trust a word these guys say anymore. They proved that. But I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.